It was the courtroom no one wanted to enter, and the letter no one was supposed to read. But today, as the Brown family gathered under the shadow of Garrison's death, Janelle stood holding a sealed envelope that would expose everything. The betrayal, the money, the truth. If this letter really says what they fear it does, nothing in the Brown family will ever be the same. What do you think Garrison's final words will reveal? And who will it destroy the most? Tell us in the comments below. The courtroom lights are too bright. Not the kind that blind, but the kind that expose. Janelle sits stiff, her back too straight for comfort, the grief buried deep in her spine. She doesn't move, not even when Kody walks in, shoulders squared, tied too tight, jaw clenched like he's ready for war. But there's no war left to fight. Not today. Today it's about a boy who should have been here, Garrison. The judge enters quietly. No fanfare, no robe-fluttering drama, just silence. Even Robin doesn't dare sniffle. She's in black, dramatically so, with a veil she doesn't need but insists on wearing anyway. Janelle's attorney stands. "Your Honor," she says softly, "we request permission to submit the sealed letter found in Mr. Garrison Brown's personal effects. It was unopened, addressed only to the court." The room stills. Kody's eyes twitch. Robin grabs his hand under the table. No one expected Garrison to speak from beyond the grave. But here he is, still the most honest voice in the family. The judge looks at the envelope, now placed solemnly on the bench by a court officer wearing gloves. And this was found where? In a locked chest, Janelle says. Her voice shakes, but her eyes steel. In his workshop. Hidden beneath his discharge papers and a photo of his siblings. Mary shifts in her seat. Christine presses a knuckle against her lips. No one breathes. The judge nods. Open it. The seal cracks. Paper rasps. The sound alone makes Robin shudder. The judge scans the first few lines, then clears his throat, per the court's discretion, and as requested in the letter's opening paragraph, the contents will be read aloud for transparency and truth. And just like that, Garrison's voice returns. "If you're hearing this, I'm gone." Which means you're all finally in a room together, without yelling. That's a miracle! Laughter flickers in Christine's throat, quickly swallowed. Kody scowls. "I didn't write this to be nice. I wrote it because I was tired of being erased. Tired of pretending things didn't hurt when they did. Tired of Dad pretending I didn't matter because I didn't agree with his choices." Robin shifts, her mouth opening slightly. Kody shakes his head, not in disagreement, but in disbelief. He stopped calling. He stopped showing up. But you all knew that. The thing you might not know is this. He stopped being my dad the day he chose a wife over his children. Over me. Every eye in the courtroom locks onto Kody, but he doesn't move. He can't. Because the words are true, and they're not finished yet. I didn't need a mansion. I didn't need a TV show. I needed someone to show up when my truck broke down, when I got my first deployment orders, when I came home with nightmares. Janelle quietly begins to cry. Mom did all that. Christine too. Even Mary showed up sometimes. But him? He sent a group text. You know what that feels like? To be a bullet point in your own father's life? Silence. The kind that buzzes in your bones. The judge pauses for a moment. Would the family like to take a recess? Janelle's voice is hoarse. No, read it. The judge continues. Robin, I don't hate you, but you made it easy for him to leave us. You called it love. I called it manipulation. You kept him distracted, protected, obedient. You built a wall and called it a home. Robin bursts into tears, but no one moves to comfort her, not even Kody. I saw what you did with the finances. You said you were organizing things, but you were collecting. You wanted control, and Dad gave it to you in exchange for peace. But peace at the cost of your children is just silence. The truth doesn't need volume. It just needs to be spoken. And Garrison's words are ripping through the courtroom like a blade. This isn't revenge. This is record. And if anyone wants to dispute what I'm saying, check the bank records. Check the trust. Check whose names are on the properties and whose names were erased. Christine blinks. Her hand twitches. She knows. She's seen some of those documents. So has Mary. So has the court. This isn't fiction. It's fact. I wanted my share of Coyote Pass. Not because I wanted land. Because I wanted to prove that I belonged. That I wasn't disposable. That I mattered. Kody's lip curls. And for the first time, he speaks. He always mattered. Janelle spins toward him. Then why did you leave him? The room gasps. Robin lets out a loud sob. Tension doesn't need violence. It only needs truth. And the truth is eating Kody alive. The judge doesn't stop. He keeps reading. When I die, if I'm dead, please don't fight over my things. I don't want them back in the same system that made me feel like nothing. I'm naming my heir, and it's not someone you'd expect. It's someone who showed up. People shift. Whispers rise. Who? I name Aurora as my heir to Coyote Pass. Time stops. Robin chokes mid-breath. What? Kody shoots up from his chair. That's impossible. The judge raises a hand. Order. Janelle stares forward, unmoving. Christine's jaw drops. Mary blinks twice in rapid succession. Robin stammers. No, this is a joke. He hated her. He said she was part of the problem. But the letter says otherwise. Aurora and I spoke. More than any of you knew. She apologized. She listened. She asked questions. She didn't lie. That was enough for me. The courtroom falls into a free fall of disbelief. Murmurs rise. Kody paces behind the defendant's table, hands on his hips, trying to make sense of it. Christine leans toward Janelle. Did you know? Janelle's voice is barely a whisper. I had no idea. The judge finishes the letter. If you're angry, good. That means you care about something. Just make sure the next time you care, it's not too late. Even after death, Garrison's voice feels more alive than the man sitting in the defendant's chair. The judge folds the letter slowly, then looks around the courtroom. This letter is legally admissible. It was verified, unaltered, and signed in the presence of a notary. The estate distribution process will now reflect the named heir. Robin stares straight ahead, eyes glassy, lips parted in shock. Janelle whispers, That was him. That was really him. And for the first time since the trial began, the silence feels sacred. The judge sets the envelope down and says, Session will resume after a short recess. Everyone begins to rise, except Kody. He's frozen. And then, like he's speaking to someone far away, he says, He left everything to her. No one answers. But the storm that's coming will answer louder than any words ever could. The courtroom doesn't recover. Not really. Even after the recess, the chairs feel colder, the air heavier, the space between people thicker, because no matter what happens next, the moment has already changed everything. Garrison's words still echo, raw, unfiltered, honest. And now, the name Aurora sits in the center of a storm she never asked for. She walks into the courtroom slowly, her eyes red but dry. No veil, no costume. Just Aurora, pale, serious, silent. Janelle watches her closely. Not with hate, not even suspicion. Just confusion. The girl she once saw as a child now stands as the heir of her son's legacy. The judge leans forward. Aurora Brown, do you consent to testify regarding the contents of the letter and your communications with the late Garrison Brown? Aurora nods. Her voice is steady. I do. Before she can take the stand, Robin jumps to her feet. She's not stable. She's been through enough. She doesn't even know what she's saying. The judge raises his gavel but doesn't strike it. Mrs. Brown, your daughter has agreed. Unless there's legal justification to stop her, she will speak. Robin turns to Kody, pleading. But Kody just lowers his head. He won't help her here. Not today. For the first time, Robin's control is slipping, and no one's reaching to save her. Aurora steps up to the stand, takes the oath, sits. Aurora, the attorney begins softly. When was the last time you spoke with Garrison? Her eyes flicker toward Janelle. A week before he passed. The room doesn't move. And was that a typical conversation? Aurora shakes her head slowly. No, it was different. He reached out. I thought it was a prank at first. But he asked to meet. Alone. He said he wanted to talk, but not about the family. About the truth. Christine's brow furrows. Mary leans forward. What truth, Aurora? She breathes deep. That he didn't hate me. That he hated what he thought I represented. And then the bomb drops. He said he was planning to expose something. Something about money. About how property was being transferred. He didn't know who to trust. But he said he had files. And he made me promise not to tell anyone we talked. Robin gasps. He never told me that. The judge glares at her. Control your outbursts or you will be removed. Secrets never stay secrets. Not when a dead son leaves them behind. Aurora's hands tremble slightly. He was angry, hurt, but he wasn't confused. He showed me screenshots. Texts between Dad and someone named Marcus. About dividing Coyote Pass. About keeping certain names off documents. Janelle's face goes white. Christine whispers, Marcus is the land agent Kody used. Do you still have those texts? The attorney asks. Aurora hesitates. I deleted them after he died. I panicked. I didn't know what would happen. I didn't want to be blamed. Did you tell anyone? Aurora shakes her head. Not until now. Kody finally lifts his head, but his face is unreadable. It's as if he's retreating into himself, calculating the damage. Christine asks to approach. The judge allows it. She walks up holding a document. This is a notarized statement from a private investigator I hired after Garrison's death. He confirmed that a local land agent named Marcus Reddington filed amendments to the Coyote Pass subdivision map 3 weeks after Garrison's final conversation with Aurora. She places the file on the judge's bench. And the names on those documents, she adds coldly, only Robin's children. Not a single biological child from Janelle or me. The courtroom explodes. Sometimes the truth doesn't shatter like glass. It rips like flesh. And this time, everyone's bleeding. Robin stands. That's a lie. That's not what happened. Kody didn't do that. He didn't. But the judge slams the gavel once. This court will hear sworn testimony only. You will be seated. Aurora turns toward Robin, shaking. Mom, please stop. Robin stares at her like she's just been stabbed. You're my daughter, she whispers. How could you do this to me? But Aurora doesn't answer. She lowers her head. I'm done, she says, and walks down from the stand, avoiding everyone's eyes. The tension is nuclear. One wrong word, and this courtroom will erupt. Kody's attorney stands. Your Honor, in light of the unexpected nature of today's revelations, we request a pause in proceedings until we can verify the authenticity of these claims. The judge looks down at the file. No. Gasps. There will be no delays. The deceased provided a notarized letter, and we now have sworn testimony confirming potential document manipulation. This trial continues. Christine rises again. We have another witness. Someone Garrison trusted. Someone who was with him the night he wrote the letter. Janelle's head snaps toward her. What? Christine nods. He didn't write it alone. He read it aloud. Someone heard every word. The judge lifts his brow. Call your witness, Christine. Looks back at the door and nods. And then it happens. The door opens, and Logan Brown walks into the courtroom, and every member of the family stares like they've seen a ghost, and in a way they have. Because Logan left the cameras, left the fights, left it all. Until now. He's older, broader, distant, but his eyes are sharp. He walks to the stand without saying a word to anyone. Doesn't even glance at Kody. And that silence says more than 1,000 speeches. The bailiff swears him in. Christine steps forward. Logan, where were you the night of March 16th? His voice is clear. Garrison's workshop. Why? He called. Said he needed me. Said he wanted to talk, without noise. I went. I brought food. We sat on the floor. He said he was done hiding. He looks directly at Janelle. He asked me if it was okay to finally say everything. Janelle's eyes well up. When sons turn into soldiers for truth, even their father can't silence them anymore. Christine walks closer. Did you hear him write the letter? Yes, word for word. Did you help him? No, I just listened. And when he was done, I told him. It was perfect. It was him. He turns to the judge. He signed it, dated it, then sealed it and put it in a small lockbox. He handed me the key and said, if I don't make it to court someday, make sure the truth does. The courtroom is frozen. Christine wipes a tear. Logan's jaw tightens. He didn't want revenge. He wanted peace. But peace starts with truth. And now you have it. The judge leans back. He doesn't say anything. He just lets it breathe. Logan steps down. Doesn't sit near his family. Just waits near the back. Like a soldier guarding a grave. Robin leans into Kody and whispers something, but he pulls away. You knew, didn't you? She hisses. Kody doesn't answer. Because silence is safer than guilt, and guilt is written all over his face, even the strongest. House crumbles when it's built on buried children. The judge clears his throat. We will now examine the timeline of land transfers and property ownership. A forensic accountant will testify next. The court will reconvene in 10 minutes. The gavel strikes once. People begin to move. But Janelle doesn't. She stays seated, hands folded, eyes lost in a memory no one else can see. She whispers to herself. He really meant it. He really planned it. Christine gently touches her arm. He knew no one else would say it. And then, from the back of the room, Logan says just loud enough for them to hear. He wasn't angry. He was brave. The courtroom doors close behind Logan, but the silence he left behind lingers like smoke. Garrison's words still cling to the air, echoing in the ears of everyone seated. And now, the next bomb is ticking. The judge returns to the bench, not with authority, but with a weight everyone in this room knows. Today, something bigger than drama is on trial. It's legacy, memory, blood. Bring in the forensic accountant, the judge orders. The bailiff opens the side door, and in walks a tall woman with gray. Streaks in her braid and folders so thick they look like they're ready to burst. Janelle grips the bench. Christine doesn't blink. Robin shifts uncomfortably and whispers something to Kody. He doesn't look at her. The woman introduces herself. Linda Maynard, certified forensic accountant, hired independently by the court to review all financial documents related to the Brown family trust, land titles, and LLC activity over the last 5 years. She's sworn in. Christine stands, calm but coiled. Ms. Maynard, did you uncover any inconsistencies during your investigation? The accountant nods slowly. Yes, several. She lifts the first folder. The original land allotments were filed under a shared family LLC, Brown Family Development Group, registered in Arizona. However, within 18 months of the filing, 3 of the parcel assignments were legally removed from the LLC's central ledger and refiled under an affiliated company named RN Holdings. The courtroom stiffens. Christine tilts her head. And who owns RN Holdings? Linda opens a separate file. Robin Brown, listed as CEO and sole officer. Her daughter, Aurora Brown, is listed as successor trustee. Silence turns into static. Because this isn't just about land anymore. This is about lies sealed with legal signatures. Janelle gasps. Christine doesn't move. She already knew. Kody finally raises his head. That's impossible. But the accountant continues. This was done in increments. First, Parcel 2B was removed, originally allocated to Janelle. Then 4C, previously promised to Garrison. Finally, 1D, marked for combined use by Christine's daughters. She lifts a highlighted map. These plots now exist legally outside the family trust and were appraised last year at nearly $1.7 million combined. All 3 titles now list RN Holdings as sole owner. Christine's voice is tight. And when did this transfer begin? Approximately 3 months after Garrison's return from active duty. Janelle slowly stands. Her voice is low, barely more than a breath. He came home, and his name was already gone. Robin covers her face. Whether it's guilt or just shame, no one can tell. This wasn't a clerical error. This was a betrayal carved into land and law. Christine holds up her hand. One more question. Did the documents involve forged signatures? Linda hesitates. Yes. One signature listed as Janelle Brown was digitally overlaid using a scanned template from a 2016 home refinancing agreement. The system flagged it as non-original input. The room implodes. Kody explodes. That's a lie. We used a notary. This is all protocol. The judge slams the gavel. Mr. Brown, but Kody is already on his feet. She signed it. She agreed to it. She was there when we discussed it. Janelle turns toward him slowly. No, I wasn't. He freezes. You forged my signature. You cut out Garrison. And you let Robin run the show while you lied to my son's face. Her voice breaks, but not from weakness. I thought you just forgot us. But you didn't forget. You erased us. Kody tries to speak again, but even the words are scared to leave him now. Robin grabs his arm. Kody, sit down. He doesn't. He walks out. Not escorted, not forced. Just walks out. Sometimes the truth doesn't break a man. It empties him out until there's nothing left to pretend. Christine walks over to the accountant. Are the documents admissible? Yes. She hands them to the judge. The courtroom is breathless. Then, Janelle speaks again. My son knew. That's why he wrote that letter. That's why he named Aurora. Because even if he was angry, he could see someone in this family wasn't lying to him. She turns to Aurora, who hasn't looked up since Logan left. He gave you something real. I hope you protect it. Aurora doesn't speak, but the tears in her lap say, everything. Christine clears her throat. I'd like to submit one final piece of evidence for this session. The judge nods. Christine walks to her bag, pulls out a sealed yellow envelope, and hands it to the bailiff. Inside, a series of printed emails. She turns to the court. These are internal messages between Kody and Marcus, the land agent who handled the transfers. In one, Kody refers to Garrison's plot as a, quote, dead asset unlikely to be claimed. Let's move it to RN and file quiet. Janelle gasps. Again, let's move it to RN. He didn't just cut his son out. He planned it like a business strategy. 3. Judge scans the papers. Christine speaks softly. There's a timestamp. March 15th. The night before Garrison wrote his letter. And then the heir is gone. Everyone in the room knows what that means. He found out. He found out his land was gone. That his father called him a dead asset. That everything he fought to hold on to had already been sold. Christine's voice lowers. That's why he reached out to Aurora. That's why he called Logan. That's why he left the letter. And then, like a closing line in a eulogy, she adds, he wanted the truth to matter more than the silence. The courtroom isn't made of walls and wood anymore. It's made of guilt and grief. And every plank is splintering. The judge takes a breath. We'll break for lunch. Court resumes in 90 minutes. The gavel hits. Everyone begins to rise. Janelle doesn't. Christine doesn't. Even Robin stays seated, frozen like the seat has grown roots. But Aurora stands. She walks quietly toward the bench. She waits until no one is looking. Then she whispers to the judge, I have something else. He leans down. She hands him a small blue USB drive. He sent this to me the day before. I didn't open it. The judge takes it gently. What is it? Aurora swallows hard. He said it was everything. The courtroom feels colder after lunch. Not just because the lights are dimmer or because the fall air has crept through the cracks in the doors. It's because something sacred is about to be unsealed. Everyone returns to their seats in silence, even Kody. He's back. But this time, he doesn't sit beside Robin. He takes a separate chair, one row behind. His tie is loosened, his eyes bloodshot. He's breathing through his mouth like the air has become too hard to swallow. The judge enters holding a single item in his hand, the blue USB. The court has reviewed the contents of the submitted drive. It contains one video file and one folder of documents. We will begin with the video. All parties are advised. This footage was recorded by Garrison Brown 2 days before his passing. Janelle's breath catches in her throat. Christine closes her eyes. Aurora looks down. The lights dim, and the screen flickers to life. Garrison appears on camera. He's sitting on the floor of his workshop. Behind him is his old army cot, half folded, and his dog Huckleberry asleep in the corner. A single lamp lights the space. And his eyes, they don't blink much. He looks directly into the lens. If you're seeing this, it means I didn't get the chance to say it in person. Or maybe I did and it didn't change anything. Either way, this is my record. He takes a deep breath. There's a transfer document sitting in front of me. It shows that the lot I was promised, Lot 4C, was reassigned. It now belongs to RN Holdings. I didn't know what that was until I Googled it. He leans forward, lifts a paper. It's a company, registered to Robin. The same woman who said she didn't want any part of the land stuff. The same woman who told me, to my face, that she didn't know what I was talking about when I asked her about property. Even in pixelated form, the betrayal on Garrison's face feels like a blade across the soul. He continues. I called Marcus, pretended to be my dad, told him I needed the updated maps. He emailed them in 10 minutes. They show the whole thing. Christine's daughters, gone. Mom, gone. Me, deleted. The whole damn thing belongs to RN now. He holds up the printed maps. And the signature? It's Mom's, but I know it's fake. I know it. It's the same one from the old house refinance. I remember watching her sign it. I scanned it once when I helped her fix her. Printer. Janelle is shaking. Christine moves to her side and holds her hand. There's something deeply haunting about a son having to explain to the world that his own father sold him out and knowing no one would believe him until he was gone. Garrison's voice cracks. Dad, I don't know what happened to you. You used to be annoying and dramatic, sure, but you showed up. You used to try. But somewhere along the line, she became more important than all of us. And I kept waiting for you to wake up. He rubs his eyes. I'm not sending this out of hate. I'm sending it because someone's going to end up screaming into the void if I don't. Maybe it's Aurora. Maybe it's Logan. Maybe it's someone else. But somebody's got to know this didn't happen quietly. He lifts a flash drive. I copied everything. Emails, contracts, scanned maps. It's all on here. He places it into a small metal box on screen. And just in case I get blamed for being emotional or dramatic, or whatever, this is me, calm, awake, in my right mind. His voice drops to a whisper. Erase me, and you erase what little good is left in this family. The screen goes black. No scripted drama. No musical cue. Just silence. The kind that fills your chest until you can't breathe. The lights return. Robin is sobbing uncontrollably, shoulders heaving. Muffled, high-pitched gasps like she can't catch her breath. Janelle is frozen. Christine wipes her face without apology. Aurora is in tears, her head buried in her hands. And Kody? He doesn't move, doesn't cry, doesn't blink, just sits there like a man watching his empire collapse in slow motion. The judge finally speaks. The court finds the video admissible. The file metadata confirms the date and timestamp as authentic. The data folder contains emails, PDFs, and access logs supporting Mr. Brown's testimony. The courtroom doesn't react. Because no one knows how to react to a dead man proving them all wrong. Christine walks forward. I request that all property transfers made to RN Holdings be frozen until a full forensic audit is complete. Additionally, we request criminal inquiry into the forged signature used to transfer Janelle's assigned lot. The judge nods slowly. Approved. All Coyote Pass transactions are now suspended. A criminal investigation will be initiated. For once, justice doesn't whisper. It roars. Robin falls to the floor. Not dramatic. Not performative. She just drops. A pile of grief and guilt and ruined lies. Paramedics are called. They carry her out on a stretcher. Kody doesn't go with her. He stays seated, his jaw locked, his fists clenched, his whole body radiating a kind of implosion. The judge turns to the gallery. Do any remaining parties wish to submit final testimony before sentencing is scheduled? Janelle rises, but she doesn't speak to the judge. She turns to the courtroom. And for the first time since this all began, she lets the weight fall. My son was not perfect. He had anger. He had darkness. But he never lied about what hurt him. She holds up the printed map. And this is what hurt him. More than being ignored. More than being insulted. This was the erasure of his place. His belonging. She chokes on the last words. And he still found the strength to tell the truth. She looks directly at Kody. You weren't there for him in life. Don't you dare silence him in death. No scream could ever match the quiet force of a mother defending her lost child. Christine stands beside her. So many of us stayed silent. We said, it's not our fight. We said, he's just angry. But Garrison's voice was never just his. It was all of ours. We just didn't have the courage to say it first. She turns to the judge. I'll never forgive myself for letting it go on this long. Aurora rises too, shaky. I didn't know what to do with what he gave me. But I see it now. He trusted me with his truth. And I won't bury it. The judge nods. Final judgment will be delivered in the next session. All parties are expected to return. Until then, this court stands in recess. The gavel slams. Everyone begins to exit, except Kody. He stays seated, still, alone. And then, Janelle walks past him. She pauses. She doesn't speak, but she drops something in his lap. It's the photo, the one from Garrison's wall. Him in uniform, laughing. Alive. Kody doesn't look up, but his hands shake. He grips the photo like it's the only thing left that can prove he was once a father. And outside the courthouse, Christine places a small wooden box at the base of the steps. It's Garrison's, the one with the USB, the maps, the letter. The camera pans up. And for the first time all season, the family isn't just fractured, it's on trial. 'Tis the final morning of trial. The courthouse is surrounded by hushed voices and swollen eyes. No camera crews. No fans, just quiet. The kind of quiet that comes after a storm, but before the full damage has been counted. Inside, the courtroom is already full. Janelle sits beside Christine. They're not whispering. They're not planning. Just waiting. Logan's back. No fanfare. Just a sharp suit and steady eyes. He doesn't sit with Kody, because no one does anymore. Robin isn't in attendance. Rumors say she's emotionally unfit to face today's judgment. But others whisper she just didn't want to be present when her name got stripped from the titles. Kody walks in alone. No legal team, no papers, no expression. He sits, and for the first time since this trial began, he doesn't argue, doesn't huff, doesn't even look up. The judge enters, tired, heavy, the weight of a family's collapse, now fully in his hands. This court has reached a final determination regarding the matter of Brown Family Trust versus RN Holdings and associated property mismanagement. He doesn't pause for dramatic effect. He just begins, based on sworn testimony, forensic documentation, and primary evidence. This court rules the following. 1. The digital evidence submitted by Garrison Brown is authentic and binding. 2. The forged signature used to transfer Parcel 4C is deemed a felony fraud offense. It will be referred to the State Attorney General for prosecution. 3. All parcels under RN Holdings will be reverted to the original Brown Family Trust. Pending a full audit, the room exhales. Janelle grabs Christine's hand, but the judge isn't finished. 4. The trust will be frozen from future transfers until an appointed third-party administrator is assigned. He looks around. That administrator will be Logan Brown. Logan looks up. He doesn't flinch. He nods once. The same son who walked away from the family is now trusted to rebuild its most broken foundation. But then the judge says something no one expects. And finally, this court discovered within the financial documents submitted by Mr. Garrison Brown that his personal savings account had a secondary co-owner. The room tightens. Janelle turns toward Christine. Christine frowns. Until this trial, the judge continues, this individual was unknown to all parties, and their identity has only now been verified through signature verification and banking correspondence. He picks up a small piece of paper. Garrison Brown's co-owned beneficiary account lists. Brianna Brown. The room gasps. Robin's daughter.